Are you looking for a build that locks down the battlefield, freezing everything around you with the perfect mix of crowd control and support abilities? With this advanced Stasis Hunter build I named Ager's Grasp, you will have a consistent source of slow and freeze to disorient enemies and stop them in their place. With an enhanced dust field, dodge, and ability recharge rate, shattering stasis crystals and frozen targets is more powerful and potent than ever this season, especially thanks to stasis being supported by this season's artifact perks. We are taking advantage of the Renewal Grasp exotic arm piece and the Ager Scepter exotic Stasis Trace Rifle for this build. Renewal Grasp allows us to lock down key parts of the battlefield with a huge stasis dust field grenade that provides damage resistance for anyone standing inside. Enemy combatants, however, get their damage output significantly lowered and are slowed, eventually freezing over time. And final blows with Ager Scepter will instantly freeze anything in a small radius. This helps keep you and your fire team from getting overrun and overwhelmed. Ager Scepter and most other exotic trace rifles deal increased damage to majors and orange bar enemies thanks to some weird bungee coding with some variation between how much damage each trace rifle does. The remaining weapons a part of my loadout are the amazing Indebted Kindness with lead from gold and Adagio paired with the recurrent impact with subsistence and headstone. Indebted Kindness is one of my favorite weapons to use. It already does an absurd amount of damage, and after final blows it increases drastically. I'll use this weapon for taking out enemies with larger health pools that are harder to stun, such as majors and champions. Since this weapon is considered a sidearm and I also have lead from gold, ammo is plentiful. And the origin trait Sundering procs fairly often because of the abundance of frozen enemies and stasis crystals there are, increasing the reload speed of this weapon. And recurrent impact, despite not having a damage perk, is still very much a vital aspect of this build. The origin trait Land Tank provides you with extra resilience and damage resistance for a short while after a kill. This makes surviving in endgame content easier. Not to mention the perks that rolled on mine synergize extremely well with the stasis artifact perks found here in season 23, that being Dragon's Bite, Pillar of Ice, and Hail the Storm.
Because this build utilizes double special, you'll have to keep track of how much ammo you have. Luckily in Destiny you can manipulate the spawns of ammo at times. If you notice you haven't gotten special ammo to drop for a while, you can switch to your heavy and force special ammo to drop. This is because there's a hidden effect in the game that doesn't spawn ammo for the weapon type you're currently using, meaning special ammo doesn't drop while you're using a special weapon. Occasionally when you break an enemy shield, they will freeze thanks to Dragon's Bite. Defeating frozen targets spawns a stasis crystal because of Pillar of Ice, and you will deal increased damage when shattering a frozen target or stasis crystal, with stasis crystals also releasing tracking shards of ice that damage and slow targets. These artifact perks are allowing stasis to be more lethal than it's ever been. The Touch of Winter aspect buffs our dust field grenade by increasing the slow field and improving the crystal that spawns in the middle. This is all around a solid aspect to have because if you need to use your dust field for the damage resistance it provides, then you and your fire team have more room to move around and work with. And if you want to use it offensively, then you lock down a larger portion of the battlefield. Winter's Shroud applies slow to nearby combatants when you dodge. You'll want this aspect if enemies get too close to you and your fire team. I like to combo this ability with either my grenade or melee to instantly freeze anything that gets too close. Gambler's Dodge is the best class ability to pair with Winter's Shroud. Since you're already dodging near enemy combatants, you will recharge your melee, allowing you to pull off the instant freeze with every dodge you perform. For stats, you'll want to max out Resilience and Discipline while having a balanced distribution between mobility, recovery, and strength so you can spam dust field grenades and intrinsically have 30% damage resistance, as well as regen your health, melee, and dodge faster. The fragments I'm rocking are Whisper of Chains, Durance, Shards, and Fissures. Whisper of Chains provides damage resistance while you stand near a frozen target or stasis crystal, essentially buffing the Renewal Grasp exotic as well as giving you an additional 10 points in your recovery stat. Whisper of Durance increases the duration of your dust field grenade and slow effect, further buffing the Renewal Grasp exotic, and provides an extra 10 points in your strength stat. Whisper of Shards increases your grenade recharge rate after you destroy a stasis crystal, allowing you to throw dust field grenades more frequently. Pillar of Ice will proc fairly often, allowing you the opportunity to destroy more stasis crystals and take advantage of Whisper of Shards. And lastly, Whisper of Fissures simply increases the damage and blast radius from destroying a stasis crystal and frozen target. Hail the Storm stacks with Whisper of Fissures, further increasing the amount of damage you deal when destroying a frozen target or stasis crystal. Onto armor mods, I have equipped 1 Dynamo, Harmonic Siphon, and Heavy Ammo Finder. Because Ager Scepter is an exotic and its crowd control and ad clear is unmatched this season, we will have a steady supply of orbs and heavy ammo. And dodging while while surrounded by enemies provides extra super energy, which is the cherry on top since we're using Winter Shroud and Gambler's Dodge. 1 momentum transfer, focusing strike, and impact induction mods to reduce the cooldown of all your abilities. Your grenade and dodge recharge faster whenever you cause damage with your Withering Blade melee, which so happened to get a buff at the start of Season 23, increasing how many enemies the blade can bounce off of. And your melee cooldown reduces when you cause damage with your enhanced Dustfield Grenade. 2 elemental resistance mods for the activity you're doing to reduce all incoming damage from that selected element, and an emergency reinforcement mod only to allow yourself to pick up orbs of power even if your super is full. You also get some damage resistance when your health gets low, but I'm only using this mod because I crutch on the recuperation leg armor mod. By all means, if you don't see any value in emergency reinforcement or don't heavily rely on picking up orbs of power when your super is full just to instantly heal yourself, then don't use it. Equip a harmonic reserve mod instead. 1 harmonic scavenger, invigoration, and recuperation mods. Both Ager Scepter and Recurrent Impact will gain increased ammo from all ammo sources, allowing you to kill more adds and stay stocked up on ammo. Recuperation is hands down one of the most valuable mods in the game. Orbs instantly heal you. I never take this mod off because of how fast you can instantly regenerate your health. You will also gain a bit of melee energy from orb pickups as well, which is always welcome. And lastly, 1 powerful attraction and 2 bomber mods. All nearby orbs in a 12.5 meter radius are instantly collected when you use your dodge, providing the full benefits of invigoration and recuperation, as well as reducing a bit of your grenade energy. This build is all about crowd control and evenly using all your weapons and abilities. Start off by getting kills with Ager Scepter so you can instantly freeze nearby combatants. The more enemies that get frozen, the more destruction there will be. Hail the Storm and Whisper of Fissures stacking together is enough to kill large groups of mobs in Grandmaster content, especially thanks to Hail the Storm and its tracking shards. For those orange and yellow bar enemies that show up, pull out the Indebted Kindness. It is capable of stunning anything in 2 to 3 shots and deals an absurd amount of damage. Your Dustfield Grenade should recharge in under a minute thanks to the high discipline stat, fragments, and armor mods stacking together. It's also the perfect tool to spam. Make sure to use it to block off choke points and prevent enemies from rushing you, as well as provide your team extra damage resistance. Your melee and dodge are extra sources of slow, which can be used to freeze enemies faster. I like to dodge then use my melee charge for an instant freeze. The slow effect stuns overload champions, and shattering a frozen unstoppable champion stuns them, which means with this build you only need to bring an anti-barrier weapon. If you run out of special ammo for Ager's Scepter and Indebted Kindness, the Recurrent Impact can be used to clear both adds as well as do a decent amount of damage to higher health targets. Any precision kill from Recurrent Impact spawns an enhanced stasis crystal, all thanks to our fragments and artifact perks. The hardest part about this build in my opinion is managing your special ammo. You want to use all your weapons and abilities evenly, but if you run out of special ammo, make sure to switch to your heavy, and some should eventually spawn. If not, the game just gives you ammo shortly after running completely out of ammo. Overall, this is a unique and satisfying build to use. It provides your team with some much needed utility in the form of insane damage resistance and crowd control. And that's the Ager's Grasp build. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.